from House on the Rock. Speaking of which, if Jonas is done telling you about yesterday, then Jonas has got to tell you about today. And if you've never been to House on the Rock before, or even if you have, you can hear a Jonas perspective, but especially for people who've never been there before.
One word, incredible. One word, overwhelming. That is the word for it, overwhelming.
I would agree.
If Liberace built a giant house, yeah, it is garish, it is overdone, it is full of... The first half of it, which is the gatehouse and the main house, is like Frank Lloyd Wright. If Frank Lloyd Wright dropped shrooms, 10 doses of shrooms, and built a house. And then you go through walkthroughs of like an old-fashioned indoor, but an old-fashioned street with storefronts full of stuff, the bookstore and the lamp store and the clock store and the etc. You can look in the windows and look at stuff. I don't even remember all of it. One room has a giant carousel that has over 20,000 lights on it.
Open? No, it doesn't look open.
Doesn't look open.
Okay,
antique shop. Looks like I'd find mostly farm antiques. Yeah. Anyway, in one section there is a giant carousel that you unfortunately cannot ride on. It probably wasn't built to be ridden on. Has over 20,000 lights. Has something like...
Oh, show them what you got.
Oh, I'll tell in a minute.
You don't have it. Okay.
200 animals, no horses, not a single horse. They're all something else, and that's on the sign. Read the signs. Lots of musical instruments that are mechanical musical instruments that take tokens. You'll get 8 tokens free. Buy more, you'll need them. First trip through, you probably want about 35, 40 tokens. Trust me. Play everything, have fun. Some things have a little red push button. Push that and hold it down to see the thing do something. Antique musical instrument machines, a lot of them were skillfully built with lots and lots of money to look like they're playing like violins with bows for every note. Crazy, crazy, crazy. A lot of it is not playing. A few things are, percussions usually are. The carousel room, one of the percussions in there are giant tuned glass bottles, carboys. And then the organ room, which is this giant multi-level twisting, turning maze of the most bizarre pipe organ consoles you've ever seen, thousands of weird church and theater organ pipes, 2 chambers full of pipes that may have played at one time as a big theater organ, and tons of dynamos, steam engines, and beer and liquor brewing equipment. Incredible, incredible, incredible. If you go in the summer, it's stupidly hot in there, I'm told.
Bring water.
Yeah, bring water.
Wear comfortable shoes.
Yeah. There are restrooms along. Stop in the restrooms. If there's nobody in the ladies' room, go in there and look around because they're cool too.
Why would you assume that people are guys? Maybe it's ladies. They should stop and look in the men's room.
Yeah.
Don't assume their gender.
Yeah. Women should look in the men's room. Men should look in the women's room because they're cool. They're all cool.
Every room is a museum, including the rooms that aren't meant to be.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The airplane room is boring. Everything else it's just not up to snuff.
I might have biased him on this, but the airplane room is the only thing that was added after my childhood, and it's underwhelming to me.
You wouldn't have had to bias me on it. I can tell it's not Alex Jordan standards. It's just not.
Yeah. So, real quick, show them what you got from the carousel.
Oh yeah, we were up at the top of we were on the carousel, and we were Dan was looking at burned out light bulbs, and he said, "Oh, there's a burned out sign bulb. You should unscrew it and just take it home, souvenir." So I walk along past the upper level of the small carousel and take this out, and then we were almost to go out the door, and I said, "Hey, are there any of the big red G40 globe bulbs out?" And Dan said, "Oh, there's one up there. It's not in a moving section. You could probably reach it." So we put this right next to my head so you can see how big it really is. Yep.
He has a big head too, for comparison's sake.
Yes, I do.
So, other than the organ room, which I feel like you're more interested in that than the average person will be. Other than the organ room, which I know to you exceeded your expectations.
By far.
What other exhibits exceeded your expectations?
The gatehouse and main house, the Frank Lloyd Wright on shrooms, was unbelievable. I would live there if I could. I love it.
As would I. again, my music room at home is a much more muted version of it, but I got the little water features in the laundry room, and the color change bulbs are kind of my ode to the shrooms, and then all the little leaded glass lights in the music room, like way more than you actually need, all with dim bulbs. It's all meant to be similar.
If you like scavenger hunting and you like weird electrical things, in the main house near a fireplace, hunt for the electrical stove burner set in the stonework to put your tea kettle on.
I've been here probably a dozen times now, and I've never noticed it before.
Most people probably don't. And also in the gun room, when you're walking through after the music room, there's a room full of antique firearms in glass cases. Make sure you notice that one of them is a wooden leg, an artificial leg with a Derringer pistol built into it.
So anything else that exceeded expectations besides the main house and the organ room?
95% of the place exceeded expectations. Okay. Everything else, the last 5% just met them.
Okay. Let me rephrase the question then. Besides the organ room, again, nothing from the organ room gets to qualify. Your favorite either rooms or exhibits, name 3 to 5.
The carousel, the whale was really just wow, neat.
Battling the giant squid.
Battling the giant squid, and make sure you notice that also the whale is in the process swallowing a ship. And the carousel, I already said that, didn't I?
I think so, and you said the main house the first time around.
Main house.
So that's 3, you can pick 2 more if you like.
Past the carousel room, there's an area where there's lots of little displays with red buttons that you can push to watch the animations go. You have to hold them down. These are all displays that would have gone in the window of jewelry stores to advertise diamonds and diamond rings. Look at all of them. They are, if you like little fiddly mechanical ingenuity, they are all crazy cool.
Yes, something I was going to say and then I lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
Yeah, just all incredible. And if you like fans, look up everywhere, and who knows, you might spot a black industrial or something. And the weirdest Fanimation belt fans you've ever seen, 2 of them with 5 gigantic wooden blades.
They kind of look like they have cane.
Kind of.
They kind of got like a darker edge and a lighter center, meant to look like cane blades was my always thought. It's harder to tell now that they haven't been cleaned in 40 years. But when I was younger, it was more obvious.
And it's odd that there's 2 sections of the room, and only one section has these. And also, when you come down, when you see the room that has giant hot air balloons hanging in it, look down and look through the 2 greenhouse roofs, and you can see them from above. And then when you get down there, you'll see those and a row of red, what are they?
Menards turn of the centuries. Unless you're like a showroom snob, like a Casablanca collector that only collects Casablanca, even then with the belt fans. I think if you're a fan collector, there are enough cool fans and cool installs for that alone to be interesting. Most of them are generic 80s builder shit, like Menards sort of thing, SMCs, that sort of thing. But again, there's enough industrials, but there's enough unexpected ones to make it cool overall, plus the belt fans, plus 2 hidden antiques that nobody finds the antiques on their first try. I found them on my 2nd or 3rd visit as an adult.
I will give a hint for the antiques. When you see the giant hot air balloons hanging up and you're going down the ramp, when you get to the bottom of the ramp, before you go into the restaurant, there's a little old town with shops you can look in. They're somewhere in there, and they're both put together out of bits and parts, so they're both weird.
Fair hint. Okay. There was one other thing I wanted to say about House on the Rock, but I've forgotten it. Either way, Jonas is one of the people that I most wanted to take here. There's a few people that I just have, I've talked to them about it, and I can't wait to take this person. Jonas is one of those people, so I'm very glad that I got to be the person to break his House on the Rock virginity.
Yes.
I hope that when he comes back, I will consistently go with him. I always get a little envious when people go without me. It's kind of like cheating on your spouse.
If I come back here, since I don't drive, I will never, ever, ever go to House on the Rock. Even if I come with other people, Dan must go with.
I appreciate that, but if I'm, out of town for a week or something to that effect, and that's the only week that you can, if there's a convention out here that you have to go to, that's the only week you can come.
Yeah. If I have to do that, I will swipe a light bulb. 20 years ago, I would have done that out of habit, just for, hey, I want a light bulb, to collect light bulbs. Now I wouldn't have done it until Dan said, hey, you should. I'm like, yes.
And I'm very morally against stealing, and I would never advocate taking a working light bulb. I think that would be morally wrong.
Same here.
But taking burned out ones that are only to make it into the trash, I think is kind of a cool souvenir that only a lighting collector would care about. So anyhow, I think I have another point to make, but if I think of it, I'll mention it in one of our fan vid testing videos tonight. Excuse me. I'm glad, like I said, every day this week has been really cool. We had 2 thrifting days, both of which were lucrative. We had showroom day, which was lucrative. We had House on the Rock day, which was lucrative in different ways. And it's been a week with really no bad spots yet. Jonas, like most fan collectors, gets on my very last nerve, but I still tolerate him. And he's very, very grateful and honored to be in my magnificent presence.
Yes,
so,
I am.
So I will see you guys in the next video. Thanks for hanging out with us, and thanks for watching.
And I'll just say briefly, tomorrow and the next day, we're doing the big thing I came for, which is to help Dan move a ton of fans out of a house and move them somewhere else. That is going to be hard work, harder than I'm used to.
He'll earn his keep.
And I am looking forward to it, and I'm sure I'll love it.
Thanks, guys. See you soon. Thanks for watching.